Yo, what's going on, guys? It's The Alchemist, and I'm back with another NBA talk video. And for the background, I'm using a drinking games with my girlfriend. I guess this would be part 3 at this point. I'm playing as OKC, and she's playing as the Mavs. And similar to the last game, I picked OKC just because I respect their team and I like them, even though I'm a Heat fan. They're in a different division, so it's not that big of a deal. And my girl picked the Mavs because she knows that the Mavs beat the Heat last season in the finals. So just trying to be a pain, I guess. But that's pretty much enough about the video. But back to the NBA topic, really. If you guys were watching ESPN or ABC, I think it was yesterday, the Heat and the Knicks had a pretty big game. Well, by pretty big, I mean it's overhyped because everybody's trying to bring this rivalry back that the Heat and the Knicks used to have back in the day. But the Knicks really aren't that great. And it showed yesterday, seeing as how they were trying so hard, and their star, Carmelo Anthony, went off for 42 points, I think. He had a double-double. And the Heat were playing really sloppy and turning over the ball. And we still won. We won by 8 points, and it was pretty commanding. And we were in Madison Square Garden, so that's even a bigger win for them. So for the Knicks case, hopefully for them, they won't see the Heat in the first round of the playoffs if they think they're going to get in anyways, because if they do, they stand no chance of even moving forward. And I'm thinking they might have to play Chicago if they are lucky enough to get in, because right now they're still 8th place in the East, and they need to win out the rest of their season if they plan on getting in, because Milwaukee is right behind them and they're only 2 games back. And I think there's 8 games left in the season, and it really wouldn't be too difficult to make up 8 games, especially the way the Knicks are playing so inconsistently. But I'm really not a Knicks fan. I'm just pointing that out. But I just mentioned the Bulls, and like I had said in the last video, I think they're a really bipolar team in the East. I mean, they definitely have the best record in the East and possibly the league. I think they're 46 and 14. But they were playing yesterday versus the Detroit Pistons, who used to be a force to reckon with, but now they're not even 500 at all. They're 22 and 38. And the Bulls had to take them into overtime just to be able to get the win. I mean, they did end up winning by 6, but overtime win, that means it was a hard-fought regulation time game, and it could have gone either way for them. And that's why I think that they're so weird, because they win games that you think will be a hard game commandingly, and then games that you feel like they should just massacre, they have to go into overtime. But I don't know. I was also watching ESPN, and I saw that Derrick Rose was complaining about the game because he was saying that they were being too physical and there was a lack of fouls and stuff like that, which I think is ridiculous. Seeing as how yesterday I was just having the same conversation with one of my friends about how they call so many fouls in the league now that you almost can't do anything. And I saw this through Skip Bayless, if anybody knows who he is. And he was like, it's funny that Rose would even try to complain about the lack of fouls and the rough plays when Rose bum rushes the paint every game just trying to get fouls. I mean, a lot of players do that nowadays because that's pretty much how the game has to get played, but don't complain if someone else does it to you, Derrick Rose. But that's just me being a little frustrated with the Bulls. But I'm hoping that the Bulls have unlucky first round, even though it'll probably be New York or Milwaukee if Milwaukee could come up on their 2 games. But last season in the playoffs, the Heat, when they played in the conference championship versus the Bulls, that was pretty much like our finals. They played crazy there, and then once they got to the finals, they were lazy, which is why we lost. But it's gonna be different this season, convinced. But on the West, the last time I had done one of these videos, the Spurs, or the most boring team in the league, was first place, but Oklahoma took that back over now, and they've been playing nasty. I know they played on Saturday and they got a win, but so did the Spurs, so they're still holding on. But it's going to be interesting to see them. I'm thinking they'll probably make it to the finals unless they get upset or have like a really tough series somewhere else in the playoffs. But I'm not even sure who would be able to give them such a hard time, because they're rolling right now, and they're probably my favorite team in the West. So I think them versus Heat will probably be a really good series to watch, and it would probably go a long way. But the other teams, I think, well, based on the standings right now, they probably could face Houston in the first round if Houston gets to stay in. but they're even in a worse spot than the Knicks because they only have one game up on Phoenix, who technically is in 8th place right now. So if Phoenix wins out or just wins one more game than Houston, there might be a tie, or they could take over, which would be interesting. I really don't know much about the Rockets this season because I never paid attention to them. And Phoenix, I could really care less about. I mean, Steve Nash is pretty nasty, but he's also getting old. So it makes no difference to me who gets in. What I'm looking forward to see is if the Lakers and the Clippers have to play in the first round, because I have a lot of friends that are diehard Lakers fans, and I really could care less about the Lakers, but I really think that the Clippers are more likely a better team at this point. But the Lakers are definitely making a turnaround. I don't know if anybody noticed or saw Bynum last week, how he got 30 rebounds one day and then 30 points the next day. I think that's actually part of the reason why they're starting to consider him as maybe being the best defensive player of the year in comparison to Dwight Howard, who's won it 3 years in a row. And I think that Bynum stands a good chance because Dwight Howard did just get an injury, which is putting him out for the rest of the season. He had back spasms and he kept forcing himself to play. Now he has a herniated disc, and they think it might be up to 6 months before he's back to normal. So who knows what's going to happen for the Magic in the playoffs. But for Bynum, it's actually not too bad because he's going to be able to play better defensively at the end of the season, and that'll leave a lasting thought with whoever it is that votes for that award this year. But I do have one more question. If you had to vote for the league MVP, who would it be? Kevin Durant or LeBron James? I mean, both of them have a fighting chance, but who do you think? But I'm just realizing this video is coming to an end, so let me know how you guys feel about the wrap up of the NBA season, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.